Well, we'll talk about it right now. We're live. Look at it. We're live. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the MMA Advocates presented by CrossBonesMMA. My name is Eddie Law. From the other side of the pond, of course, we got Mr. Andrew Reed at ABQ, Dave Rodriguez, and at Dayton, Ohio.
It's the spineless wonder himself.
Oh, right. Pay what you owe, bitch. Anyway, still haven't heard yet back from Jesse, so we're waiting to see if he's going to come on later or not. All right, so let's get right into it. Right as we're about to start the show, Meryl Streep comes up. Right, and of course you got. Here's the thing: the popular take is that she was talking shit about MMA. I didn't get that from what she was saying. I thought she was saying something a little different. But Andy, let's start with you. What were you saying?
No, let's start with Fred.
You want to start with Fred? All right, Fred, you go first.
I want to listen to his incoherent argument first.
Okay, no, right before we no. Okay, you know what? No, let's throw what English was saying out there first. That it wasn't about fucking art, mixed martial arts. It was the arts. Listen, man. Her fucking point that she was trying to make, at least the way I fucking took it, was that MMA wasn't culturally diverse. Because she said if you take fucking all the culture or whatever the fuck out of Hollywood, essentially you're left with the NFL and MMA. And I think kind of what she meant by that was these fucking, I don't know, I think she essentially made it seem like NFL and MMA fans were a bunch of Trump fans. That there wasn't some ethnic diversity in MMA.
Who did Dana White publicly put his backing behind? God so she's not fucking wrong on that point, is she? It's not. No,
she absolutely is.
No, she's
Don't
not.
fuck yourself. No. Dana White does not speak for fucking MMA fans. I'm an MMA fan, and fucking they got Brazilian champions. God damn it, fucking MMA is very diverse.
And where do they all go to fight? They all basically go to America to fight. What she was saying is that you're left with things that you cannot really or haven't so far been exported around the world. That's what she was saying. NFL, nobody outside of the US gives a fuck about NFL.
And MMA don't fall in that category.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
outside of the USA, you'll be. Oh, shut up. Outside of the USA, stop having your head up your ass and think the USA is the center of the world. It fucking isn't. Especially now you've got Trump running it, you fucking retards, a lot of you. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got nothing to do with that. If you went to China, they talk about kickboxing. If you went to Thailand, they talk about Muay Thai. They talk about fighting. They don't necessarily talk about MMA outside of the USA. It's still like that. Yes, you've got the growth around Europe, but it's still not. If I walked down the street and said to anybody, do you know Luke Rockhold? They wouldn't have a fucking clue who I was talking about. Just as much as I said, I don't know. You see, I don't even know somebody for the NFL to quote. That's how fucking irrespective and irrelevant it is over here. The problem is people are taking it. One, she didn't say MMA isn't an art. She said it isn't the arts. Big fucking difference. Learn English if you've got a problem with that. Two, she was basically using it as a metaphor, saying Hollywood exports around the world. Everybody, you know, you can talk Hollywood, you can talk the films. Every language speaks Hollywood. That's what she was saying. Not every language speaks NFL. Not every language speaks MMA. Anybody that thinks different needs to go back to school, understand grammar, understand English, and understand what the fuck they're talking about when people refer to metaphors.
I think your argument for the NFL flies, but not for MMA. MMA does fucking expand all those cultures. Everybody does.
I'll go and ask 10 people tomorrow who Alistair Overeem is, who Luke Rockhold is, who GSP is.
That's not the point.
They won't have
that's
a clue.
Not the point.
Of course it is.
That's
not the point exactly.
Some of them don't know who the fuck LeBron James is either.
Exactly. Nobody outside of the USA is aware of it. Hollywood, everybody is around the world.
You're Terry picking country, you English cocksucker. Meryl Streep was out of line.
No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. It's the MMA fans that, between the lot of them, haven't got an IQ in double figures that are assuming that she's making a point-blank direct assault on the MMA world. Do you think she even gives a fuck about MMA? Of course she doesn't. She wouldn't know who fights where. But she's using it as an example of how Americans have got American-centric activities that don't export well around the world. Hollywood does.
I think she was comparing us to Trump fans.
Well, you're a fuckwit then, aren't you?
Bullshit.
All right, Dave, what do you think?
What do you two Mexican pricks think?
Nothing, Dave, go ahead.
Unexpectedly, I mean, leave it up to Meryl Streep of all people, like on the stage of the Golden Globes, to put MMA basically in the spotlight. You know what I mean? So it's pretty much like who would have seen that coming on a weekend where there's no fight scheduled? Dana White's has his take on it. Joe Rogan several fighters, like Andy said, a lot of fans who were, pretty much, a little bit uneducated on, what her point was and what her point was, what she was trying to make. And just a big stage. People, got real pissy about it, thought she was taking shots. And I agree with Andy.
How many people do you think that run ACB have said anything about this? That's their MMA. What about all the other MMA's companies around the world that aren't in the US? Heard a peep from any of them? Are they moaning and bitching about it? Of course they're fucking not.
They're not the biggest fucking MMA organization in the goddamn world.
That's my fucking point. The biggest organization is in America. Everybody goes to America. They don't necessarily export it, you fucking idiot.
Well, crucify us for being the goddamn best. What do you want from us?
You're not the best. You've already turned around and said you've got people from Brazil. You've already admitted you're not the best because there's everybody from around the world.
Is the UFC based in America is the goddamn best, but that don't mean they don't have ethnic fucking fighters competing for the company all the fucking
your World Series of whatever the fuck it is. What is it? Rounders? I don't know what the fuck. Go Cubs. But whatever the fuck it is, I don't know. Cubs. Right, World Series. Who else competes in the World Series? It's not a fucking World Series. This is the point. The stuff that you've got is very centric to the US. It's not always exportable.
Yeah. This being exportable?
Of course I could walk down the street and people in the UK wouldn't know who Michael fucking Bisping is.
Because they're fucking disrespectful cunts.
This is like arguing with a fucking stone. It really is. Never argue with an idiot because they drag yourself down to their level and they beat you with experience.
Damn.
Did you just say I won this argument?
No, I said you're an idiot.
Yeah, you said you're dumb.
Right. Right. And overall, it's the Hollywood effect taking place in the UFC. So it's just it's a bit of it. Very strange how it took place with Meryl Streep being involved, and then Dana publicly talking a little bit of shit about it. All these big figureheads. So very strange stuff. As unexpected as can be. Who would have thought? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, Dana White is obviously capitalizing on the fact that people are talking about it, right? So he's got to have a take that's a little edgier than, yeah, I get what you're saying. Instead of that, he's got to be like, oh, fuck that bitch, shit.
This is exactly one of the reasons WME wanted this company, because the people that follow it are fucking idiots. They can feed them any old shit.
Before we get off this topic, general question. Are you a Meryl Streep fan, English? Yes or no?
Well, one, yes, but two, what's that point got to do with what she said?
Here we go.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
No, what do you mean you rest your case? You haven't even presented one, you fucking idiot.
That's the end of the
case. What is it? How is there a relationship between the two?
You can't put it into words.
It's got nothing to do with what she has done in her films.
Right.
You're an impartial juror.
What?
You're a Meryl Streep fan.
You've been in court too fucking often, you have.
All right, let's move on.
Shut him up, didn't it?
Yeah, let's move on to the next goddamn topic.
All right, moving on here. Let's talk about UFC 209. It's actually turning out to be a pretty solid card. What do they got? Woodley, Thompson, Tunes on that card. Overeem versus Hunt. We'll get to the Hunt thing in a second. If it gets there, right. We'll talk about Hunt in a second. Let's talk about UFC 209. First of all, there's no Diaz brothers on it yet. And I think they're going to end up missing up on that. And whatever, it's in freaking Brooklyn anyway. Or not Brooklyn, it's in Vegas, right?
Right.
It's in Vegas. 209's in Vegas. So
yeah, Vegas.
Whatever. It should be in California, but whatever. Let's talk about Woodley Thompson too. First of all, it's been rumored for a while. In my opinion, it's the right fight. It's the one that's really the only one that we want, that is deserved, I guess, right? If you want to use the word fair. Even the UFC has just forgot what that word meant. But regardless, Woodley Thompson 2, Kirby, what do you think?
I'm down with it, man. I mean, the only other fight, for real, I guess the fight that I would have liked to see as far as fucking entertainment value is Nick Diaz. And I know I can hear the crybabies now. Nick ain't won a fight in 9 years. He can't get a title shot. I don't give a shit. If I would have been, goddammit, Ari, I heard the rumor was that they tried to give Nick that fight. They said he turned down everybody and their mama. But that's the most intriguing fight for me. The only other fight that had any fucking, validity would be Damian Maia. And, it was a draw that him and Wonderboy had. So I guess you can't hate on it. I mean, I'm not jumping out of my skin over it, but I'll take it. I ain't hating on it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Wonderboy, what changes Wonderboy makes. Because I don't think Tyron can't actually make any changes. I mean, he can try, but I don't know if it's going to be any better than what he came up with in the first fight. Andy, what do you think about it? You think so?
Wrestle heavy, wrestle a lot more. He
true.
didn't even. He damn near beat Steven at his own game. Can you imagine if he just like wrestles heavy the next time?
That's true. Stay on top of him. But Andy, what do you think about this fight?
Looking forward to it. I was looking forward to the first one. I thought Woodley would have it in the first one. I mean, Wonderboy, sorry. I thought Woodley did very well, but I think that Wonderboy didn't fight his fight. He wasn't. How many of his amazing spinning kicks and jumping kicks and turning kicks and all that kind of stuff? How much of that did we see in that fight?
Not much,
Virtually none. And I think that's because he was worried about the takedown. But I think they might have learned, and I think he'll be a little bit more spectacular in this one. I'm glad the fight's on. It proves that they're not just pushing money fights everywhere. I mean, people are going to argue that, well, this isn't a money fight because they couldn't get one for it because Nick didn't want to fight and Conor didn't want to fight and bloody much. Go fuck yourselves. This is a bloody good fight. If people didn't look at that first fight and go, fucking hell, that deserves a rematch, then they give up watching MMA.
Yeah, no, I when I heard about this one, I was excited as fuck for it. I mean, the other option was Damian Maia. Even Damian Maia is being super cool about this whole thing. Like, hey, you know what? You guys have a good fight. Put on a show, and I'll see the winner next whenever. But Dave, what do you think about this fight?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I know the first time around, I agree with Andy. I think Wonderboy didn't have the best performance there. I think a lot that hindered his performance, I think he said it on a podcast or an interview, is his weight going into the fight. He wanted to be a little bit heavier, so I think that's the plan for this fight. He's packing on a little bit more muscle. He knows what Tyron's capable of. He's fast as fuck. He's a bad motherfucker. Tyron Woodley, true champion, but it was a draw ultimately in the end. Controversial. But it was on a big stage. It was on that big card, the New York City card. So I think Thompson, just sort of like Woodley said on his podcast, is he got under his skin. Sort of, the contract was posted on Twitter. A lot of social media influence on that. So, and like Andy said, it's true. It's sort of not just like the UFC gearing towards these money fights. This is a fight that everybody wants to see. And these two cats got unfinished business. Absolutely. Very much looking forward to it.
And I understand what you guys are saying about as far as the money fights go, but I think money fights, honestly, there's very few names that you could put together that would actually be, would make a money fight. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, one of the few names would be either a Diaz brother or Conor McGregor. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who else could be a money fight right now, but we'll talk about it later.
Can we not have this thing? If Conor McGregor's deciding that he's having a baby for the next 10 months, can we all not talk about him for the next 10 months?
We could try. At some point, this fucker's gonna be like, oh, as soon as he came out with, I'm gonna fight Floyd Mayweather and shit.
Actually, the other thing about the Tyron Woodley fight, the rematch, is the fact that I think Tyron Woodley's going to have a little bit of doubt in his head because he smacked Wonderboy a number of times and he got up. Not many people have done that. I mean, we saw what he did to bloody Robbie Lawler. Is it Robbie Lawler? Who was it he smacked at?
Yeah. He starched out.
And Wonderboy got hit a couple of times. And he fair play to him. He's got a chin of iron, that guy. And I think that might be playing on Tyrone's head,
Well, I mean, and he tried to fucking pop his head off and shit, and that didn't happen either. So,
yep.
I mean, goddamn.
And also, too, I think, did you guys hear that Damian Maia, he also turned down a fight with Robbie Lawler, too. So it's going to be interesting what they do with Damian Maia, if he's actually going to wait for the winner of this fight. Or who knows? I don't know what the possibility of him possibly fighting old Nicky Diaz. Who knows? Maybe we can see Dana take a trip up to the 209. Nick slaps him in the face, and they get him in another fight, a big fight. I think Nick deserves a big-time fight. But for the hardcores, Damian Maia is that opponent, but it's just not the big money fight that people want to see Diaz in. But we got to see Nick Diaz back in there soon enough, and there's still a chance they could get him on this card, I believe.
I mean, maybe, but it would take the right fight and the right amount of money. Nah. He turned down the Robbie Lawler fight, apparently. Apparently they're friends now. Who fucking knew?
Certainly nobody wants to fight Robbie Lawler.
Didn't he turn around and say, I'm not going to get my face smashed in by Robbie Lawler again. I don't want to get hit like that. I mean, the other thing is, if nobody wants to fight Robbie Lawler, what do you do with him?
That's a good point.
If all the top guys don't want to fight him, you can't give him, some guy down in the top 8 or 9 or something.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. You have to give someone an offer they can't refuse, I guess, sort of deal.
Likely, you know what it could be? It could be the winner of the Masvidal Cerrone fight could draw that fight, definitely.
If Cerrone wins, maybe. I'm telling you, man, Nick ain't coming back unless it's a fucking recognizable name. And all due respect to Damian Maia,
he ain't won.
No. He ain't got a shot in the dark of getting that fight. There ain't no fucking way Nick Diaz is going to come back to get fucking potentially, you know, in a slow fucking grappling match. That's probably the last thing on earth he wants to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Even though he's super high level jiu-jitsu. All right, moving on to the next topic. Actually, no, next part. Overeem versus Hunt. Now, yeah, it's a good fight, right? Heavyweight, two guys that hit real hard. One that hits a little harder than the other. But Mark Hunt did just file a lawsuit with the UFC. I mean, this could get like fucking. He's in fucking who knows territory. Yeah, what do you think about that, Kirby?
What? Just the fact that he filed the lawsuit against the UFC, or the fact that he filed the lawsuit while he has an active fight in the UFC?
Yeah.
You know, listen, man. At the end of the day, there ain't a whole lot the UFC can do to him, right? I mean, I guess they could choose to not promote him very properly, but they can't just like cut him off or no shit. They got to give him the fight. What he's actually going to get out of it, I don't know much about the lawsuit, but from what I understand, he's got some pretty wild shit that he wants.
He's doing it under RICO, for God's sake, racketeering.
Yeah, exactly. So, listen, man, I don't think he's going to, I think he might get a little cash grab. I think he causes enough of a stink that the UFC might pay a little loot just to kind of quiet him down and make this whole thing, because he's got the shit with saying that they knew that Brock was on steroids or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Who knows what's really going on with all that, and if it can worms. But the reality is, man, he's not going to change the sport. USADA's doing its thing. They're not going to start writing all these crazy rules for Mark Hunt and steroid usage and shit. He's just going to have to get over what happened with Brock Lesnar. It sucks, but fucking, as the old saying goes, dog, life is not fucking fair. He took one up the fucking poop chute. Time to get over it. He's going to try to sue him. Maybe he gets a little money. If he don't, I think after this, he needs to just ride the wave. Ride out his contract and go to Bellator if that's what he wants to do. But, like, this is whatever he gets out of this is it, Jack.
He'll take it right to Rising, dude. There's some fights over there I wouldn't mind seeing him in. Okay, yeah. So, look. It's I don't know. I find it weird. It's not a conflict of interest. I don't know, as far as legality goes or whatever. It could get kind of weird, and a good attorney could actually use it against Mark Hunt. But I mean, I don't know, Andy. What do you think about this? I mean, just the lawsuit on its own first, and then like with him involved in UFC 209.
Well, firstly, a number of things sprung to mind about it. One, didn't he sue the UFC after the Pride takeover and won? I'm pretty sure he did.
I didn't remember that at all.
So, yeah, he did. The way he sued him was not for. It was they wanted him to fight on his Pride contract, is what clarification from. Shout out to Mikey Ruckus. So he informed me about that, and it was about just the UFC trying to grind him into fighting under the Pride contract. That's what it was. But go ahead, Andy.
Yeah. So there's that. So he's got form and he's won before, so he's got a little bit of confidence in him. Two, the thing that I think he's got against him is the fact that everybody knew, it was publicised that Brock Lesnar got this special pass. And he still agreed to fight him. So to then go and bitch afterwards and say, well, now there's proof that he's on steroids and everybody knew about it, then, this is why I want some kind of recompense. So I think he stabbed himself in the foot with that one. And thirdly, this is WME. This isn't, I keep saying it, this, you can't start threatening a multi-billion-dollar company like this. He's peanuts. He's a nobody to them. He's not even rocking the boat of the chief execs. It's this is Dana sort this one out, and the likelihood is they might have some lawyers and solicitors going through the contract and see if they can get him for breach of contract and just dump him anyway. So I don't wholly think he's got a substantial foot to stand on, to be honest.
Yeah, I was here much. And then did he say that he was broke, or that he had no choice, something like that? I heard someone say he said he was broke.
Well, and see, I find it he had to take this kids, or his kids would start.
Oh, he did the Latrell Sprewell. If anyone don't know, Latrell Sprewell used to play for the Timberwolves. They had to keep that team together. Might have gotten to the finals the next year, except that Latrell Sprewell said he turned down every contract. I mean, we're talking like it was like $30 million, $40 million contract. He said no. I need money to feed my family. and this guy's a multi-millionaire saying that shit. No one ever took him seriously again.
I doubt Hunt's got that kind of money, but I doubt his fucking kids are starving either. All due respect.
Well, it's not expensive to live in Australia. You can buy a plot of land the size of Texas for $5.
Shit.
See, and I think, guys, too, I know you got, Fred, you said you've been tuning in a lot to the JRE podcast, and I think a lot to it is, I agree wholly with Joey Diaz. I mean, he was saying that just the disgust of just them putting on that show, knowing that they gave Brock this exemption, gave him a free pass, and then it ultimately is very strange where if Hunt had won the fight, I don't know if he'd be, in this position where he'd be fighting the UFC, and he would have been compensated a little bit more with a win bonus, of course, but we all know it was a big stage. It was UFC 200. Brock's a big-time figure. He's a big draw, and it just didn't work out the best for Hunt, in which Brock ended up being fucking juiced to the goddamn gills. So it was shameful, though. I agree with Joey Diaz, absolutely.
I don't understand. The racketeering thing is what bothers me with it, because he's doing it under RICO, and the fact that, well, that implies that nobody knew what they were doing. Everybody knew what they were doing. It was publicly announced that he was given a pass. So it's not as if the UFC or Dana or whoever were doing anything that was underhand and behind, closed doors and making it sway that way. It was all out there. Everybody fucking knew. So that to me doesn't relate to the, racketeering.
Yeah, that one was a weird one too. And look, I mean, fuck, you know what the UFC's gonna do, right? Or what WME's gonna do is just wait him out so he runs out of cash first, because they're not running out of money on that. I mean, if even just to be dicks, might do that, because I mean, Andy's right. He doesn't have much of a leg to stand on. His attorney's gonna have to muster up some shit to even have a chance in this one. Because it's not gonna be like the first one. What's up?
The case isn't that strong against the UFC. Like, his case isn't iron fucking clad to the point where he's gonna be like and said, this is fucking basically it's a battle. At best, he might get a little cash. But
no, because that's the thing, though. Why would WME turn around and do that? Because then every fighter will do the same thing. They'll come up with an excuse if they know that WME are like Lorenzo, and if you sort of were to shout loud enough, they'll give you a few dollars in your back pocket. WME aren't going to set the precedent with that. True. That's not how they do business. So if they do it for Mark Hunt, then it'll open the floodgates. This is what people don't understand, is the fact that if they set a precedent with any fighter trying to get money out of the UFC in any way, or trying to blackmail them or bend them over a barrel, the first person that gets it opens the floodgates, and WME know that. So they'll fight tooth and nail to stop anything happening. They're not going to turn around and go, okay, Mark, here's $30,000, just get on with the fight. They're not going to do that.
True. And then everyone that was bitching about the Zuffa and all that shit, fucking the UFC up, can eat a dick now, because this shit might get worse.
The big thing over all of this is that at any second, WME could just completely write off Zuffa and open up a new company. Exactly the same trading standards, exactly the same, but then they've got no liability to anybody. They hold that over everybody. Nobody understands that. They can rip up every fighter's contract and say Zuffa no longer exists. This is the new company we formed. There's your new contract.
Oh shit! They would do that too.
But they could easily do that.
Yep. No, I agree with that. It's actually kind of crazy to even think about. All right, moving on. Ronda, or not so rock bottom just yet. So Ronda Rousey, obviously, she got knocked the fuck out by Amanda Nunes. First of all, did anybody see there was like someone someone did graffiti or sprayed graffiti all over on the side of her house? And she came out.
That was Travis had nothing to do at night.
Travis had nothing to do that night?
Yeah. She gave him a mouthful and went out and sprayed his own house.
Shit, I thought it was like Verdum or someone like that coming after Edmund. But regardless, all right. That shit was weird. And the first picture, everyone's like, oh, the first picture's of Ronda Rousey in her field. She looks a little chunkier. Like, yeah, dude, she's not cut weight no more. What the fuck is wrong with you? She's going to look a little bigger. She's going to be a big girl later on. Watch. Anyway. First of all, I'll start off here with the obvious question is, do you guys think Ronda's ever going to come back? I'll go first. Easily, no. Like, what's the point? She got $3 million to get her head knocked off by Amanda Nunes. $3 million on top of whatever shit he fucking had from the movies, past contracts, endorsements, all that shit. She's set for life. There's no need to come back and fight. You know what I mean? Especially not with the same goddamn coach. You know what I mean? So Dave, you think she comes back?
Man, I said it on the air, ESPN last segment I did, and we talked about it. And it's a little bit too early to tell, but I think an interesting twist to her returning. I mean, of course, like you said, Eddie, with Coach Edmond and the stuff that she was doing leading into the title bout it's just not. She hasn't improved. She wasn't totally there. It wasn't the Ronda that we've seen before. She definitely needs to make some big time changes in her training and coaching. I don't know if she wants to go to, I guess, John Jones, open the option of her coming to Jackson's, or I don't know what the case that might be. But I think in the end, the way she comes back, in my opinion, that title at 45, there's a potential matchup with those two, cash grab bout with them, and everybody would love to see it. It'd be a big payday for both women, and it'd be huge as fuck. Even though Ronda got starched 2 fights in a row, I think that fight could present itself. Say Holly does get that 45 title here in about a month.
Well, you said Holly against Ronda?
Yep.
That's kind of weird. Why? I mean, I'm what's up?
Well, the 45 division is real. Right now it's still, and it's going to be the inaugural title. So I think if Holly's impressive, if Ronda, if they give her some time to, whatever, to recoup and change her training methods, excuse me, I think that fight could potentially be just one of those cash grab fights for the 45 title, in my opinion.
What do you think, Kirby? Brad, do you hear me?
What do I think that Ronda Rousey's going to come back?
Yeah.
Sorry, he was trying to engage his brain then. It took a while.
Hey, fuck you, cocksuckers! Y'all are breaking up like the goddamn fucking Morse code over here.
Had to start the little mouse up in the back of his head to run the wheel to start his brain working.
Okay.
You know what?
Which is amazing, because you shouldn't be able to have a brain if you haven't got a spine.
Listen to this cocksucker. Look at him taking notes out of trouble. Now
it's like a speed bag, dude. It's like a speed bag. He hits it. The second it comes back, he's already got another one ready to go. All right. Okay, Fred, go ahead.
All right. Now, I listen, man. I think that eventually she will come back, to be honest with you. I think that she'll eventually fucking start listening to people like her mom, and she'll get a different coach, and she'll change camps, and she'll give it at least one more go. And I think it would be wise of the UFC new fucking team to get her a tune-up fight. Listen, getting snuffed out by Holly Holm and then getting snuffed out by Amanda Nunes, really nothing to sneeze at. It's easy to go, oh, Ronda Rousey sucks, she doesn't like getting hit. These things could be true, but they're all workable. Look at what fucking people did to Andrei Arlovsky. Wrote him off. He was getting snuffed out on the regional circuit, Jack. He went to fucking Jackson's. They fucking turned him around, and he made a pretty good fucking go about it. I see no reason why, with the right camp and the right mindset and the right opponent, Ronda Rousey will win and then be right back on track, man. Now, we know she could just say fuck it and go off. But I think eventually, look, man, if nothing, she's a competitor, right? She's been doing judo. She did the Olympics. I think it's a real thing for these people when they don't want to. It's hard to give up that competitive spirit. At the end of the day, I think eventually Ronda Rousey will get the itch and give it at least one more fucking try. I think she just needs to listen, man. They do it in boxing all the time. What's the problem with a fucking tune-up fight? Where you at, Raquel Pennington?
Right.
Shit. Can we give her some? Can we give her somebody that can't strike fucking devastatingly and elite? Let's give her a tune-up fight.
CM Punk.
There we go.
He's going to Bellator.
Who?
Oh.
Who's going to Bellator?
No, there was Scott Coker said there's interest in signing that bastard to Bellator. So.
To CM Punk?
Yep.
Oh, God damn it. All right. Well, fuck.
Scott Coker, you need to sign me.
Dude, seriously. Right. CM Punk against Fred Kirby. I still think Fred wins.
Somehow. The first invertebrate fight.
I can whoop that dude.
The first invertebrate. I would help him with jiu-jitsu so much.
Oh, here we go. Fucking hell, Bruce Lee's here again. Him and his fucking karate. Chuck Norris. A ginger Chuck Norris with no spine.
Oh, shit.
Got the first part right.
What, ginger? Yeah.
There it is.
And Chuck Norris, cocksucker.
No, the first part was Ginger. Shut up.
Yeah, it really was. Anyway, welcome to the show, Mr. Jessica Wakaba, straight out of LA. How's it going, man?
Straight out of Compton.
Man, what's happening? Nah, not there tonight, so thank God.
What's happening? Fred's being a moron again.
Oh yeah. You
English is riding Meryl Streep's fucking tits is what's going on because he's got a
wait.
crush on her.
Wait. So you guys are genuinely mad about what she said?
I don't give two fucks.
Fred does.
I'm not mad about it, but it was a slight at the MMA fucking community. Yes.
Wait. Shouldn't we all be celebrating that those words came out of a prestigious woman's mouth of actually putting us with football? I mean,
no.
Hey,
man,
I'll take that as a win.
Fuck that in the ass. We're not celebrating being the low man on the totem pole because of that hoe.
Wait. You're saying that it's better had she said, you're going to be left with football and boxing? No, her first thought was football and MMA, mixed martial arts. And she said it correctly. She didn't say something stupid like, football and UFC. She said mixed martial arts, which is great. I think that's a step forward for us. Hey, we're out there. A lot of people are talking about MMA today. I think it's a good day.
You guys, who am I on this show with? You guys are fucking all sniffing glue before the fucking day.
Dude, I don't get
Who cares?
What?
All press is good press.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
All right.
UFC Hollywood.
There you go. Back to the Ronda Rousey thing. Now, for her to come back, what brings her back? What, pride and wanting to win again? But she's got to get rid of Edmund for sure. She's not going to do that. Like, you guys understand? She's like loyal to a fault. Do you
think she just wants to prove herself? She wants to prove that everything that she's got in her team is prime. That's what she wants to prove. That's why she didn't change it this time.
She's so dumb. You guys see that corner
I keep
video?
telling you, there's a sex tape floating about, and Edmund's got it. That's the only fucking reason.
Dude,
Jesus fucking Christ! Are you drinking English?
Whatever. Here's the fucked up part about all that. Okay?
To talk to you, I have to be.
No. Here's the fucked up part about that. How much shit has Andy said on this show that he was fucking right about? Way too much. And the Trump thing was a year ago. Okay? He creeps me out. Don't let this man say shit because he's gonna nail every single one. Watch.
Edmund's got some on. He has to have.
I'll tell you a little snippet of something that I know. I know that there's a lot of connections financially between those two, which is not a good thing. And I think that's where the connection is. I've heard a little bit of rumblings that the money between the two are kind of tied together in certain business deals, with her name being the majority part, but he controls some of her money or some sorts like that. So I think that's where
even more reason to believe that he's got some honor. If she's prepared to give her, if she's prepared to give up control of some of her money to that fucking weasel, he's got some honor. He's definitely got some honor. It's going to be the next WikiLeaks thing or something. It's what Trump's going to release to change the subject off of him pissing on beds. By the way, assassins, 8 days. 8 days. Come on, get your life sorted. Get out there en masse if you have to. If there's 30 of you, put 30 rounds in him. I don't care. Just fucking 8 days.
You just won't be happy till we're on the fucking FBI watch list. English.
Hey, we're already on it, dude.
I was gonna say, who says we're not on it already?
We're probably already on it.
Hey, listen. As far as you're concerned, fucking Jesus, that's a great idea. All press is good press. Come get us, fucking Donald Trump or the like. Mention our fucking name.
Hey, it'll be a good day. Hey, FBI cracks down on 4 guys on a podcast. Hey, why not, right?
Listen,
Keystone Cops.
If they come
sorry, 3 and 1
they're
English
sending
guy.
you 3 brown fuckers back to Mexico. English, I'm coming to your house.
No, you're not.
Oh yes, I am. You get me deported, I'm showing right up at your fucking doorstep.
Don't care. Donald Trump, you coke sniffing pisshead, literally.
No, you believe that shit? What did they say about him? He was pissing on beds and shit?
No, he hired hookers to piss on the bed that the Obamas slept in.
Holy fuck. Who came up with that?
And that's just apparently there's another tape that's come to light this afternoon as well.
Hold up. Well, who came up with that, Jim? That seems like...
I thought someone on Reddit took credit for that. So that they were trolling and that made it all the way into the dossier or something.
That'll happen.
Hey, Good work. That's a good one.
I thought that was Dizzy's work. Or is it Dizzy?
Diz?
Yeah.
Diz or Izzy? Izzy. You mean Izzy?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, it's not him. That's a
I
little
was like,
too
man,
much.
putting in major work.
Yeah, even that's a little too advanced.
English spies have done this, so they know all about bloody extreme bloody perversion. So
yeah, Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, let's move off of Ronda Rousey here. You guys hear about Crow Cop? Says he's gonna retire, but he wants one more fight.
that's not retiring, then, is it?
Exactly.
No shit.
I was like, what the fuck? Because he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna my retirement, but I want to fight one more time.
Yeah,
Is he pulling a
Everybody's
BJ
going to
Penn or
retire.
something?
What's that? Sorry.
Is he pulling a BJ Penn where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna retire, comes back, yeah, I think I'm good. My taxes are due.
I want to fight for the title. BJ Penn that count over and over again.
Do you think Krokop's got to worry about anything in Croatia? Christ, he's a hero.
Fuck no. That dude. I mean, he just knocked out 3 men. Of course, probably juice to the gills. But he finished King Mo. He finished the big fat guy Baruto, and then he knocked out what's his name? Did he knock him out or did he beat him by decision?
I thought they were all stoppages, weren't they?
All stoppages.
I think so. Yeah, every one of them.
Was his name Amir or what's his name? Whatever. The guy he fought at the end to win the whole thing.
Token Indian / Middle Eastern guy, right?
Right. So, yeah, I don't remember his name at all. But regardless, so he did that shit. So I mean, that's pretty cool. But who do you pair him up with? My only thoughts so far, and Fred, you can take this one first. My only thought is you put him against Vanderlei Silva. If he can, put a vagina away for a day.
I mean, I suppose if they could line that fight up, I really think he should just fuck. Why is he coming back? Fuck, right. Dude, this is it, Jack. Like you said, probably on steroids. And I mean, King Mo's a pretty legit win, but why the fuck would he?
It was the way he beat him, yeah, Jesus.
Ending to his career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to gain for him. I mean, he's already got other than money. I mean, if it's like if he's gonna get paid a lot of money, fine, I get that. But I mean, you've got everything else already. You're a legend in the sport. Fucking time to go. But people want to keep hanging on and shit. I mean, we just talked about Ronda coming back, and we all agree she shouldn't come back.
Right? Yeah, whoa. Ronda and Crow Cop are two completely fucking different stories.
Right. No. I'm not saying that
Ronda's great win. Ronda's fucking still young yet, too, man. Crow Cop said he can barely get through a training camp.
Ronda should never come back ever. Not that everybody asked me in the first place, but there we go.
I agree with him, but
she should never come back. She's done.
Kirby, agree?
I mean, I think
Ronda.
Yeah.
No, he's a negative cunt. This guy, of course not. He would have stuck the fork right in Arlovsky's ass too when Arlovsky was getting starched by no-namers in Poland.
No, I wouldn't.
Well,
how'd you know that? How'd you know that?
Enlighten me on why you wouldn't. What would have been the bloody difference or whatnot?
You sound worse than Dick Van Dyke sounds when he does an English accent.
Don't be fucking mean, English. Jesus.
I think, Eddie, to your point, I think Crow Cop, if you want to get Crow Cop off on a good win on like a very, very the last hurrah, I think you give him a Fabio Maldonado. He's still out there roaming around, half fist will fight, right? So, I mean, you might as well give him a paycheck and have those two throw down.
What the hell is going on when him and Fedor were fighting? The announcer's still good. I hope he's still alive.
Just like 3 Japanese midgets.
That's not an easy fight for Crow Cop, though. We know Maldonado's a tough fucking bastard. That guy's on the list high up there. So if they want to, Crow Cop at the age of 42, what he's done, he's going off on a high note. The Vanderlei fight, definitely we want to see that, but it seems like Vanderlei definitely doesn't want no part of Mirko Crow Cop. So, but if he decides
doesn't want any part of anybody at the moment, does he?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to fight nobody.
Yeah, he's out of shape as fuck too, from what I heard.
Maybe CM Punk.
That'd be a fair fight.
Or Crazy Horse and Ryzen, whatever you say, right?
Ryzen would have a fight for sure. All right, real quick, shout out to Mike Jarvis and 5 Book MMA on the YouTube comments. 5 Book says Ronda's not coming back. She's going to WWE. She is mentally done.
No, didn't they come out and say that they didn't want a broken toy or something like that? They didn't want something broken in there.
Who said that?
Yeah,
I think,
that's correct. I heard that.
Was it Linda McMahon that said that?
That's
Or somebody?
So that's priming.
her.
That's priming the way for her to join. Then obviously, it's WWE you're talking about. Fucking hell.
It's true,
They
but
don't
I
want
mean,
broken stars, is what they said. Yeah, or something like
there
that.
you go. Yeah.
Well, fucking hell, they took Ken and Frank, didn't they?
Back when they were on top. That's different.
Were they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, well. All right.
They'll take anything. Publicity, they'll take it. They're just building the publicity up to turn her into whatever they call a bad person. Was it a
Oh man.
foot or a
Jesus.
Heel, right?
Fuck.
Am I right on that? Did I get that right? Heel?
Andy is extra salty today. I'm gonna start agreeing with Fred in a minute.
You can grow your hair ginger as well, then. remove your spine while you're at it, and you'll be closer to him.
Oh, we're never gonna drop that. You should be
never.
He should be bald as fuck right now, and he's not.
These are illegitimate thoughts and bets and shit. He's fucking drunk in his own world over there half the time.
Oh, God.
I don't know what you guys were going to talk about next. I don't remember what the listing was, but did you guys read that article about World Series of Fighting and their financial situation?
I thought AOL bailed them out.
Maybe, but did you hear what their numbers are and all that stuff and how that whole deal is working out?
All I know is everything's in the red
and getting worse.
And everybody's leaving too. Yeah, the Branch, I think there was rumors of a Gegard Mousasi David Branch fight being booked as well. Marlon Moraes, we know we want to see him in the UFC. Justin Gaethje, send him out too. If it's going to get real fucking crazy in WSOF, ship them out and let's see what they got against in the UFC. Let's see it.
Yeah, I think today the worst manager of all managers, Ali. Terrence Ali, he confirmed that Marlon Moraes is a free agent as of today. So
Yeah.
UFC, go pay that guy some money.
I'll tell you what, David Brandt's gonna get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
That dude's not UFC caliber at all. Marlon, meanwhile, he's got a good shot. I like him in a few fights in there. And what do you say, Gaethje might go to?
Yeah. They're all due.
I don't want to see Gaethje fight anymore, man. Every time I've seen him fight live twice, and after the fight, it's obvious he got socked in the head quite a few times. And
did you see his last fight? Ooh,
exactly.
Ooh.
Imagine a Marlon Moraes like a Dominic Cruz fight or something like that. You know what I mean?
Or TJ Dillashaw. I want to see him against TJ or I think more TJ than Cruz, but
screw it. Just put him in there with a champ. How about that one?
Jesus Christ.
God
Easy,
damn.
boys. Easy. How about we give him Hands of Stone or some shit? Just easy.
That makes sense.
He's
Lineker.
been fighting in the fucking World Series of shitbirds. Let's just fucking keep it funky for a second. He's been beating birds of shit.
All right, but he's also been stomping those birds, and he's been doing exactly what a high caliber fighter would do. Is just running through them, making it look easy. And I think in the training camp that he's also in with Frankie Edgar, I think he knows exactly where he's at, skill wise.
True. Good point.
Well, like they told the Donald today, let's see it. He got to prove it to me, Jack. Training's training.
What else was in that? Hold on, real quick. What else was in that World Series fighting thing? Like, what else did they find out?
Basically, they were saying that the NBC SN or whatever that channel is that they're on. Basically, they give them about 150,000 a show, but they require that they go through a certain production company that charges them 250,000.
Jesus, there goes any money you might have taken home. Fuck.
So that's already minus 100,000 plus what you're paying the fighters. Blah blah blah. I think also they get free time on the network and they split the ad revenue 50-50 with the channel itself. So I mean,
on that deal.
Whoever was the top guy at the time when they made this deal. But the whole thing is, I mean, I think we're all good enough at math to understand that you're getting paid 150, they're charging you 250, and plus every other thing overhead, plus your fighters and everything. Where's all that money coming from?
I just wonder,
can we hand that equation over to Fred there for the answer, please?
Go ahead, Fred.
I'll defer that one back to you, English. You're the math major here. I'll tell you what. They've been bleeding money since the goddamn it beginning of time.
Oh, yeah,
I'm surprised
dude.
they're still around. Like they've been fucking bleeding money like since they've been a fucking organization, right? So
Pretty much, yeah.
this isn't surprising at all. I fucking knew this shit was coming for sure. And then when they started paying goddamn it dudes like Jake Shields and John Fitch big money to fight each other, what the fuck?
I think the most surprising thing about this is that much money is being, pushed here and there for each event. Not a lot of money is coming in. I think the guy that did the article, I think his name is like Paul Gift or something like that. He said that he found out that basically ticket sales are like between 400 and like 200, and very
tickets?
little. Yeah, ticket sales.
Holy shit! I could sell 200 tickets to talk in my backyard.
Exactly. So where's the revenue coming? Like the whole big question is how are they still alive, and where's the revenue coming from to pay everything else overhead? Because it's not merchandising, it's not TV deal, it's not.
Right.
It's CIA drug money. CIA drug money.
Selling that blow.
Abdulaziz, that's the guy.
Abdulaziz is turning tricks in the corner, trying to make some money. That's fucked up. What's his fighting as fuck? There's no. I mean, look, everyone's been claiming their deaths for like 3 years now. Is 2017 the last year we hear about what's his fighting? Anybody want to take a shot at that one?
With these
Very
financials, yeah.
I thought AOL. I didn't know that.
The guy
it'll either benefit the UFC or Bellator. So either way, it's going to be those guys are going to have to go somewhere to fight. So
we'll get some prelim guys out of the deal. And Marlon and Marlon.
Good.
Watch WME buy them for $5 or something.
Good. They're just getting in the way, man. Like Justin Gaethje and Marlon Moraes, guys that should be fighting. Like, good. All due respect, WSOF, they ain't doing shit but getting in the way. Go ahead and strip that shit for parts and be done with it. Send half of them to Bellator. Let the UFC gobble up, 3 to 5 guys that are worth it, and let's be done with this shit.
But don't you think it's also kind of a bad thing for that company to go under? I mean, it's shady as hell that they're still out there, but I mean, at least we're getting introduced to these people that we wouldn't be introduced otherwise. I mean, Marlon wasn't a guy that we knew about until he started wrecking dudes in World Series of Fighting. And then think about it. Yeah, eventually, but I mean, look at Anthony Johnson. He also had a second life there at World Series of Fighting as well. There's a few guys that were there at World Series of Fighting that, kind of got their legs back from under them, after a rough cut from the UFC, which would be perfect for someone like, let's say, CM Punk, Ronda Rousey, who need these like lower level fights that could build themselves up in an organization like that, kind of like Legacy is doing now, where they have some pretty high end guys that, like the Legacy fight that's happening, is it this weekend? I think pretty much whoever wins the main event is, first class ticket to the UFC, basically, which is, what we kind of want, right?
They've got them. The UFC's got them. The UFC's got what, like Titan and Jungle Fight on Fight Pass?
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's what that's all about. That's what Fight Pass is all about, is getting all those, and they'll, the companies they'll buy up, or they'll have something to do with them at least. They'll have contracts with them. And I'm pretty sure that WME will take on because it was the UFC that started it. It was Zoof, whoever was running. It was the guy from Yahoo that took over the Fight Pass side of everything.
Eric Winter.
He's done leaps and bounds for things. And I think every time they screen a different fight organization, they're tying them in with contracts. So
I mean, it's probably the best thing for us as like MMA people. But think about it. I mean, they're expanding into kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. I mean, it's doing what Flow Combat is trying to do in kind of a cheaper way. I think
Flow Combat's failing awfully.
They want it to be the Netflix of sport. Yeah, guarantee it.
That's
what WME. That's what they're going to build up. Yeah. That's why they started putting all these really decent fights on the fight. The last fight on the Fight Pass Brilliance, and everybody was going, "What the pissing are they doing that for?" Well, this is why they're doing it. That's a big investment for them. That because they're a digital media company, Fight Pass is a big investment to them.
And remember, all that what is it? Revenue is direct. It's not split with anybody else. It's just straight to their pocket. So it's the best.
Hey, am I the only one that thinks that's fucking awesome?
I think we all agree that's awesome.
Okay.
Hey, I got 2 fights. I got 2 fights for mentioning Moraes and Gaethje. Let's get Moraes in there against Johnny Dodson, and let's go Justin Gaethje, Diego Sanchez. Let's get this shit rolling.
Yeah, let's get Jackson's MMA back on the map, son. We need to break that losing streak. Get Jackson's back on the map. This motherfucker's so not a homer.
You know what? I do like that Diego Sanchez fight, though. That would be that would be probably the bloodiest, nastiest fight we've probably ever seen.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear the post-fight interviews.
More than likely.
Don't make them a main event, because then we got to hear from both of them retarded-ass motherfuckers. Like,
I think Gaethje was starching.
Yeah, we had Diego welcoming in Marcin Held. I mean, he's fighting this Sunday, so I think that would be a fucking fantastic fight. And then I'm kind of, being that I'm in Albuquerque, I kind of wanted to throw
and you bitch about it every day. You stop trying to support it.
Dave is like the biggest fan and the biggest critic at the same time.
Yeah, he's like the only person that can say, it's like the only people that can say you got ugly babies are the parents. If anybody else says you got an ugly baby, it's the same thing, isn't it?
All right. So anyway, moving on here. We were talking about Meryl Streep. Let's and because obviously Dave made this list, so I got to ask you about this. You were talking about Helwani did what now? He did Helwani called out Dana White on bully tactics. Yeah. First of all, let me just start real quick before you explain what the fuck you're talking about. First of all, fuck Helwani. He was paid by Zuffa. Straight up, fuck him. All right, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, no, he was. I forgot what the podcast was that he was on. He was just addressing the whole issue of like whatever him breaking the news and then banning him from the UFC and talking just about Dana and how he was so mistreated and this and that and that stemmed from the Cry Fest. We all know what happened there, but he just really was just saying that Dana pretty much is a scumbag, in which before he was pretty much just a paid shill for the UFC. And then I find that it's real interesting. I forgot who sent the tweet out, but it's perfect to the T. It's like you could be getting paid from the UFC to paid shill, but then again, you're MMA Journalist of the Year 18 fucking years in a row. So it just doesn't add up. And I think Ariel is just trying to be more whatever rebel, vigilant, whatever the route he's taking now. So Ariel's sort of like it's not the normal Ariel Helwani shit that we're hearing besides his show. So I found it very interesting that he went on a podcast and. Well, his main focus was just to drill Dana White. So
he's trying desperately hard to stay relevant, isn't he?
Well, here's the thing. The funny thing is, every time he talked about some shit like him being banned and everything, he's like, I don't want to be a story. I don't want to be a story. And then on his podcast, he went 2 hours into making himself the goddamn story. And then
it's always about him.
He did every interview he could possibly he got offered. Every single one he was talking about it. And just about himself the entire time. Like, dude, Helwani has such this crazy ego. It really
Let me ask you though, Eddie. If you are a part of the story, doesn't matter if you want to be a part of the story or not. You got to bring out the details, right? Like, I mean, it is the story, so you got to bring with the details and be upfront and honest with everybody.
I agree.
You make your point once on a relevant radio station, and that's it. You shut up. You don't pimp yourself out everywhere, just repeating the same.
You don't literally cry for
vacuous bollocks.
You don't cry for 2 goddamn hours, repeating yourself over and over again, by the way, all right, on your online show, unless you want to be the story. Like, completely the story. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand what you're saying. If you're part of the story already, you have no choice or whatever, of course you got to talk about it and be upfront about it. But you don't do 30 million shows and, a 2-hour cry fest on your own. That's just way overboard.
The reason he loved the UFC and when he worked there is because he was the center of attention when any story broke. And so it was him. It was always Ariel was breaking the story because the UFC fed it to him. But it was, he was always part of the attention. Now somebody else in a whole conglomerate, I mean, it's BJ Penn and bloody breaking stories at the moment, but there's other people breaking the stories and it's not him. He's got no limelight.
Brett Okamoto now? Yep.
Yeah, I was saying Brett Okamoto basically got his job.
Oh, dude, Brett Okamoto breaks every UFC story now. Helwani hasn't broken anything that is worth a shit really in a while.
He's out the spotlight. He's got to, he's got to make himself relevant.
Oh, he's driving himself insane. Brett Okamoto Brett Okamoto doesn't even do shows that much. Like he'll be on SportsCenter every 3-4 nights just to talk about the next card and shit.
What do you think? Brett Okamoto wakes up with like everything already done for him. They just email him what they want him to say, and he's like, "All right."
That'd be kind of cool.
Nah, but he just plays ball. Like, honestly, man, I kind of fuck with Ariel. I listen to the MMA Hour. I don't hate him as much as Eddie does and shit. But even me, I will say, like, he does kind of seem like a bit of a crybaby. You know what I'm saying?
He's a victim.
Like,
that's his problem. He's a victim.
The only reason I know who Ariel is because Dana White was giving him them one-on-ones way back in the day. Back when Dana White would do like hour-long interviews before the fight and after the fight. That was a big deal back then, kind of, because you got a lot of fucking info. And Ariel got those exclusives before every event.
Yeah, that's true. That's what he touched on, too, on that podcast, is about how the new ownership, where it's kind of silenced Dana, and he was kind of praising him for coming out and talking about the Ronda situation. But he thinks that it's something where the UFC needs to do more of these, whether it's one every couple of shows or so, just so we hear the raw and uncut Dana White. And now we're just hearing Dana White touch on fucking TMZ articles and Meryl Streep, shit like that. So I used to love it. I used to love those little one-on-ones, like you said, Fred. So I agree, and that's what he was kind of, his point was, is that he doesn't have the ability to do that anymore, and it's Okamoto that took over. So
yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Don't hate though. He got you built up. That's why your fucking MMA Hour does fucking 500,000 hits.
The only reason he was there in the first place is because he was one of the first there. That's you know, if there was somebody better at the time, they would have been there. It's got nothing to do with his journalistic capabilities. It's just fortuitous that he was there when he was. A bit like, say, Joe Rogan was when he did his first, you know, it was all fortuitous. And the Fertittas, being the type of people that they were, seemed to want a nice little family. And that little family grew, and they still kept them all nice and tight. And then Dana's got piss all to do with WME. I don't know why people expect him to stand up and talk. It's got fuck all to do with him.
I think the other thing is that he got complacent. Ariel did in how his job became much easier for him in the access that he was granted. Now he's actually got to, you know, do journalistic work. Oh, I'm sorry. Now you actually got to go out there and dig for stories and put in the work. And now it's not as easy for him because he's been out of that game for so long. Now he doesn't know how to do that anymore.
It still should be low-key easy. He's got all the fighters on his Rolodex.
If you're a decent enough journalist, do you think, I mean, imagine if Carl Bernstein would decide to cover MMA. You know, right. Everything would be dug up in 5 minutes. These aren't journalists. They're people that are used to having stuff fed to them. It's like Eddie goes on about, you get a Joe Rogan podcast and immediately there's 50,000 articles about the same bloody thing and they're calling themselves journalists. There's nobody that investigates. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think Fred makes a good point, though, that Ariel is at the position that he is because of Dana and the old UFC, the Fertitta era. So it's just a whole bit with a transition of power. And I remember watching Ariel's show, listening to him when it was just him and, minimum fighters, still pretty big stars, but it was just him in a small little office with little UFC figures sitting on the desk. So he's came a long way. So
Fred and Aaron used to get fucking Henzo Gracie and bloody John Wayne Barr on their little thing. That doesn't mean piss all. You know, he was just lucky. He's got no journalistic skills and capabilities whatsoever.
But the thing we're talking about is the access was there before. Now you got to work for the access, you know. And he still, like Fred said, he still should be able to easily get all the access he needs.
He does.
He just has to put in the work, and he's crying about it. It's so ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
you know. Like you're in the position where it should be easy for you to just do everything.
That motherfucker.
Thankfully, I didn't hear.
He shouldn't be qualified for. I'm sorry. He shouldn't be qualified for goddamn MMA Journalist of the Year ever again. How many times did the dude win? It's a fucking sham.
Okamoto's gonna take him this year, and Helwani will cry about it for 30 minutes on his next show.
For real.
Actually, Assassins, while you're out there, have a go at Ariel.
Oh my god.
Oh great. Now we're gonna have a bunch of never mind, that's gonna get crazy.
Now listen, all due respect.
Yeah.
That's something I can get behind. The nose takes one, we all step up a bit. Everybody generally increases a little love. So if somebody's gotta go.
It's gonna be funny, like, Welcome to the MMA Hour. This is Fred Kirby. What's up, motherfuckers? Yeah, from Dayton, Ohio.
The very next day.
The very next day. I took this motherfucker's job. He ain't alive no more. He
I'll
gonna
be wearing
get
a fucking Trump hat.
You couldn't slither there that quickly.
Oh, dude.
Don't fucking bet it.
Yeah, for that job, I bet he does. Anyway, real quick, shout out to Dave Madden on the YouTube comment. Says, if one of you breaks down into tears right now, you'll be on Hawani's level. And then
if he cracks any more of his shit jokes, we all will be.
Anyway, Hawani probably cries into his sleep every time John Morgan or Kevin Aoli is given the mic first at post-fight pressers.
See, Kevin Aoli, that's a journalist.
Oh, yeah, he's legit.
Boxing Hall of Fame, that's a journalist. Not these fucking morons.
John Morgan, that's another journalist.
Yeah.
I like John Morgan. John Morgan does good work. It's kind of it.
Most of the guys,
yeah, most of the guys in like for example, like MMA fighting and shit. It's like what's that one little short midget fuck?
Ramondi.
That douchebag. He fucking posts these articles like he wrote, like he's the one that found the information. Like it's a motherfucking, it's a sham. It's annoying. Now they changed that shit up to where even if that dude writes it, if it's like a certain type of story, they'll put MMA fighting news whatever news line or some shit.
Because they're all shit. They're just copying each other because they've got piss all else to do with their lives.
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
what everyone's
journalists.
doing now.
Most of them sit in a fucking bedroom wanking off into a sock most of the day.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. That's got to be a depressing weekend for
you're 17 and you're 20 stone and you think you're an MMA fucking journalist. Piss the fuck off. Go back to bloody World of Warfare or whatever the fuck they play these days.
Did you guys see, like, who was it? Who's the Twitter account that? Okay, so I saw a tweet, and anyone saw it. I saw a tweet. Somebody said I made up that they made up a new Twitter account, and then leaked out some fake shit, and some big MMA insider like tweeted it out. You guys hear about that?
No.
Doesn't surprise me though.
Huh? Doesn't surprise you? Yeah. I mean, it's I can't remember who it was.
It's a piece of piss. I mean, if you can't remember one of Conor McGregor's big fights, about half an hour before I hear backstage that Conor, I can't remember who it was, but he's had struggle, with weight cut and all this blah blah blah, and he's being sick everywhere. And within 10, I didn't hashtag it or anything. I just put McGregor's name in it, and with it was being reported by all sorts of people. It's like, what the fuck are you on? Is that what you do? Scroll through Twitter and look for things that might be relevant? Yes, it is.
I was at a World Series, the first World Series fighting event that I actually covered. I got there like I was all professional and shit, showed up all dressed up and whatnot, and a tie and everything. I still do, by the way. I'm not looking at those other assholes that show up in sweatpants and fucking t-shirts. All right, fuck that shit. Okay, but I showed up early.
You couldn't peel them out of those clothes. I bet you they've been wearing the same bloody things for 6 months.
They should look like
off their socks.
I went to Invicta in Houston a couple years ago, and dude, I was sitting there, me in shirt and tie like you're supposed to fucking do. Guy next to me was the same, but we're surrounded by a bunch of people in MMA Affliction t-shirts or whatever with the shitty little logo on it and like sweatpants, and we couldn't fucking believe it. It was just like,
I bet they all smell of the cheapest Walmart deodorant as well. The fucking scumbag.
I didn't smell them. I didn't smell them.
Well, that was lucky then. Jesus, BO and semen normally.
I think the only people that that I've been around when I go to the World Series of Fighting and stuff. Yeah. I have the same experience. It's always like just people in cargo shorts and like just the crappiest stuff. I feel embarrassed. Because, like you, Eddie, I dress up and stuff, and, and it's like, I feel embarrassed for everybody around me. Yeah. But, man, it's pretty ridiculous, dude.
Fucking, and I remember at the second event that I went to, I was in pictures, I was writing some down, I was tweeting shit out, and, like, a row in front of me said this big, giant, bald white dude, and I'm like, holy fuck, who the hell? And he turns around, it's fucking Ryan Jimmo. And he was nice as fuck, and he was just like shook my hand. We were talking, shooting shit back and forth for like 20 minutes before the fight even started. So rest in peace, Ryan Jimmo. He's a man. But Carp says it was Diz. Oh shit, I know that dude. That's unfortunate. We'll talk about that one off air because that's an interesting story. All right, you're right there, Andy.
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right. Couple more things here. First of all, real quick, make this one a quick one. RDA moving to welterweight. Andy, what do you think?
Jesus. How can you communicate with someone that wouldn't even have the audacity to get into a conversation with a gorilla? Jesus. What are you? Shut up. What was the question?
I don't even want to repeat it. That was too good.
I can't. For the record, I can't hear no bullshit you're spewing. The internet gods are taking your British voice and just mangling it before it can get to me with your disrespectful slander.
All right, Fred. RDA at welterweight. What do you think? Oh, there goes that. Dave.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I think Tarek Safdien said he'd happily welcome him in. And yeah, it's not like RDA's, a big draw where they could put him in, a big name opponent. But if he gets into 170, I think he can win some fights. But he said that his best was never was at his best at 55. So don't know what that means. He held the title at 55, but yeah, I think he makes a switch to 170 real soon.
Well, he's not going to say going to 170 is going to be hell, and I'm not going to be able to be any good as I was in 155. It's the same old bullshit. He's just trying to look for other fights because 155 is pretty. I mean, having said that, 170 is pretty stacked as well, but 155 there's a few killers in that, isn't there? So.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a stacked ass division. All right, Ben Rothwell's going off on Twitter and nobody's safe. Last I saw, he was shit talking Ronda Rousey and her boyfriend. What the fuck is going on, Dave?
Yeah, Rothwell with I guess after he had the canceled bout. He doesn't have a fight booked right now. He's sort of just like trying to stay relevant, trying to get a pretty big high profile name. I don't know if he does get that. They do need to get the cat a fight, and I think he does get one. There's a lot of upcoming cards that are, plenty of fights have been booked, like over the past weekend. There's so many. I think Rothwell gets a fight real soon. But man, has he been being ruthless on Twitter, talking shit to Ronda, calling out, Garbrandt, calling out McGregor, saying he'll fight everybody. He'll fight 3 guys at once. So, yeah, Rothwell is just, he's staying relevant right now. And but yeah, it's Ben Rothwell, though, so.
He needs to stay off the coke.
I'm saying.
There's a way of calling people out, and there's a way of calling everybody out and making yourself look desperate and stupid, and he's done the latter.
He is the guy that did that weird-ass fucking evil laugh after his fight, right? So, what do you expect? Yep. That shit gets like, what's up?
That guy, he's a likable guy in person, but he's starting to come off kind of like Cormier when he was going tit for tat with John Jones. He's starting to be that guy where everybody's gonna hate him because he's trying so hard to get a fight, be liked, and everything, and people are just gonna turn on that. He should just be genuine. Honestly, I think he definitely deserves a definitely high profile fight.
Was Josh Barnett his last one?
Yeah, where he go choked him.
Go choked him.
Yeah.
Where he said that
was a special go-go choke. What?
His special go-go choke that nobody knows how to do except him.
I was genuinely shocked. Get the fuck out! I just tapped Barnett.
Yeah, I think that was the first time Barnett tapped, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
That's the guy that tapped Dean Lister, for fuck's sake.
And the guy, he is ranked number 6 in the world. So, like Jesse said, they got to get him a good name. So the guy's up there in rankings. He's got like 46 fights in his career. So you got to get him in there.
What about giving him to our boy?
He ain't doing himself no favors, though, man. Listen, did Chael Sonnen, goddamn it, call out Mighty Mouse? No. He called out Anderson. Goddamn it, when Anderson was great. Did Conor McGregor start calling out flyweights and goddamn it, Johanna? What the fuck is goddamn Ben Rothwell calling out Cody Garbrandt for? And Ronda Rousey? Listen, if Ben Rothwell wants to fucking get any heat going, he needs to be talking shit to Stipe and fucking Fabricio. He needs to be barking up those trees. He needs to be saying,
Oh, he don't want none of Ngannou.
No, but listen, if he's going to talk shit, listen, what made Chael Sonnen's shit talk of Anderson intriguing? At the time, Anderson was scary as fuck. And it was like, nobody wants that fight, let alone disrespect him. And Chael came out and started shooting his mouth off. He ain't good. He wears pink shirts. I'm the baddest man God ever created. I'm going to kick that dude's ass.
Yeah, but Chael Sonnen's mental.
Hey, man, but it worked.
And he called out fucking John Jones, too. Not only Anderson, he called out Johnny fucking Jones. So
and there's something that's respect. Right now, you're absolutely right. Francis Ngannou is a guy that everybody's like, holy fuck, Fuck that. If Ben Rothwell came out and went, man, fuck the Predator, I'll beat his fucking ass and take that fucking star shine, and we'd all be like, ooh, they book that fight, baby, book that fight. That's what you do, man. They're calling out Cody Garbrandt. What the fuck, Ben? That's almost as worse as his fucking weird shit he did in the cage that one time where he broke character.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
I think this is a bad symptom of, you know, the problem of Conor McGregor's status. You know, everybody wants to have super fights. Everybody wants to have money fights. I mean, look at what was it? Tyron Woodley trying to get a matchup with Michael Bisping, right? And them to, you know, putting out that video. Oh yeah, we'll meet at 180. Yeah, that'll be a good.
Dana got mad at that shit.
What a stupid fight! You guys are the two gayest UFC champions ever, and y'all gonna fight each other.
Fred, they both have spines.
English. They both actually fights with contracts that are valid.
I think that's a big problem, especially because it sets a precedent. Look at Cody Garbrandt, right? Right away after he won the title, you know, he's like, "Oh, I'll give Dominic a rematch," and then he went in the back, probably got talked to by all the alpha male guys, and was like, "Oh wait, I can cash in some money. Hey, Conor McGregor, I'll fight you first." It's like, what are we doing here? Why don't we just not have titles anymore and just have super fights all over the place?
Yep,
it's the same as anything. But if you, Punk could beat your fucking ass. Karate
in your fucking dream, son, in your dream.
So, but it's the same. It's the same with anything. It's like if there's one really successful gardening show on TV, what happens in the next few months? There's gardening shows everywhere. If you have a successful car show, it's the same with everything. You get one person that's successful, and all the other shows are shit because the one that started it is the one that everybody sets their standards by. And this is the same, you know, okay, we've had Chael Sonnen before, but Conor McGregor, like him or loathe him, and I do more than loathe him, he kind of set a precedent with how you can manipulate the UFC, not just other fighters. And now everybody thinks that they can do it. And I've had this argument before. Shut up. If you can't do it, don't do it. If it comes natural to you, then fine, by all means, mouth off. But if you've got to be scripted, if you've got to come up with a load of shit that makes no sense whatsoever, fucking back it in. You're not Conor McGregor. You're not Chael Sonnen. Just be who you are.
There you go.
He's right. Listen, a few years ago, I started rocking a beard and a man bun. Look around. Every cute little prick you see now. Beards and man buns everywhere. It's fucking true.
Did you just take credit for that?
He sure did.
Of course I did. He sure did. I started this shit. In fact, you can go back and scroll through my Instagram.
I'm not high enough to understand this conversation.
You really? Honestly? No.
Let's just move on before English's head explodes.
I'm waiting.
I'm just that, you know, what with Cody Garbrandt bloody curing fucking cancer. What the fuck kind of stuff do you eat?
Super processed shit.
You do know Attila the Hun and all the Huns are exactly the same fucking facial hairdo and bloody top knot bollocks than you do now.
Oh shit.
Who?
Oh,
I'm not surprised that was the answer right there.
I give up. Submit, I'm tapping out.
Don't nobody know who the fuck that is, English? That shit didn't get popular until I started doing it. Attila and the Matildas and the bullshits. Nobody give a fuck about them.
Dave Madden, if you're watching this and you're a teacher, this is what you cultivate. This is what America is now because of people like you.
Hey, Dave, literally like a minute ago, put on the YouTube comments, Fred's the reason I shaved my head.
No way.
Yeah, he put that in the comments right now. Oh, man, that's funny when he hears it.
That's not cute.
Dave Madden, be ashamed. Be very ashamed. You and your ilk created that ginger thing over there.
Oh, man.
Be ashamed. Lord, don't let him shame you. You should fucking applaud yourself. This is a bad motherfucker right here.
You're the one proof, I think, that it's not the missing link. You're now the proof that we are actually slithering back into the pond. You've already lost your spine.
It's like a speed back today. He's like, and as soon as he comes back, the other end. All right, let's move on. The next thing here, Ferguson is Khabib. Supposedly the done deal. Finally, we get to see a fight at least between those two motherfuckers. And of course, winner's gonna get Conor at 209.
Yeah, I reckon that'll be at 209. Covers the main fight, doesn't it?
That'll be the main event, and then Woodley behind it.
No, I think because that'd be the title fight, wouldn't it? They can't have an interim title, a high headline to go the title, not unless you're Conor McGregor, obviously.
That's true. It'll be a co-main then. I wonder if they could make it like
because you wouldn't want Hunt against bloody Overeem as your co-main to bloody that fight, would you? No.
If anything, I don't know why they didn't put that fight at 208. Like you would that 208 card needs so much help.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, it's Khabib versus Ferguson. Obviously, winner gets Conor McGregor, right? So for Kirby, what do you think wins?
Come on. Nurmy all the way. First off, I've been telling y'all for a long time that cute little El Cucuy is overrated. And I give it to him. The RDA fight was a good win, but you look at RDA. Now he's jumping up weight divisions. He's mentally distraught. He's worse than Ronda Rousey, RDA is. That wasn't the win. He's going to get that ass whipped. It's time for the eagle to land. The real fight is Nurmy and Conor. That's when shit gets real interesting. Tony Ferguson about to get that ass whooped.
All right, so let's talk about Khabib and Conor. Who do you think wins that one?
Jesus fucking Christ! I don't know. That's a sad day.
You're gonna have a difficult decision on whose tongue you are, whose arse tongue is going up, aren't you?
You know what? It's really great. I can't hear you tonight, English. You are completely getting altered every time I catch the back.
I don't care whether you can hear it as long as everybody else can. That's it.
That's fucking interesting.
Anyway, Dave, what do you think about Khabib Ferguson?
Oh, love the fight. We've been talking about it for a while. It's finally gonna fucking happen. They need to announce it, and sucks that it's got to be for the golden ticket interim title, but it's the ticket to fight Conor. But I have to disagree with Fred. I know Fred's high on Khabib. I've loved Khabib since day one, since he first appeared on the scene. But I got to go with Tony Ferguson in the fight. I think Tony is going to spoil the party, and it's just only time will tell. I mean, AKA, these guys pull out left and right. I'll believe the fight when I see him making that walk. And I think Cucuy, it's the year of the Cucuy. It's going to happen. Cucuy is going to get that title shot.
See, that's the thing is I don't think Conor Khabib ever happens. I think it's going to be an injury for sure. Like you said, until I see them walk to the cage, I don't give a fuck. It's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? But who would you take?
That's how I feel about Sunday. I won't believe that BJ Penn's fighting that main event until I see it.
He better fucking go. I'm gonna be in the building. I'll be a fucking cockhead, BJ. What the fuck?
When on the topic of that, fellas, I don't know if you guys heard about it. I was talking to Andy and Fred before we went live. Is BJ Penn's brother was apparently arrested after a plane incident.
Yeah.
I guess he was arguing with a steward or somebody on the plane, and they had him arrested in Phoenix as he landed. So pretty shitty. I thought it was BJ Penn himself, but it was his brother, Reagan Penn. So and that was a report from TMZ earlier today, about an hour and a half ago, I believe. So
yeah, it says BJ Penn's brother arrested after airplane. It was at LAX, I think.
Hey now,
was it okay?
That's what it looks like. So. Yeah, he was arguing with a flight attendant while waiting to take off. So they hadn't even taken off, took his ass off the plane.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah, so it says, article says that BJ Penn's brother, so Penn, asked for alcohol before the flight left, and his request was denied by a flight attendant. He then got into an argument with the flight attendant and was eventually asked to get off the plane, but he wouldn't. When the cops came, he allegedly said, "I won't get off the plane without a fight." Like I said before the show started, goddamn Hawaiians are fucking insane.
Crazy
Get
motherfucker.
his blood and piss tested immediately.
Yeah,
I
he's on some
guarantee you he was
shit.
high, Jack.
He was on something. It wasn't weed. Weed don't make you fight anybody. Okay.
Don't make you say stupid shit like that.
You will see some stupid shit, that's for sure. I've already had my share for this goddamn show. Anyway.
So when he gets out of jail, he's gonna be driving to Phoenix, right? So he ain't flying.
There you go. Well, Andy, who you pick between Khabib and Ferguson?
I don't care. You know, it's all back and forth. It's all mouth. Just one of them win, and then one of them taste the potato goblin, and just get it all out of the way. It's just dragging on too much now.
That was a slither worthy of a fucking python, English.
Hey, but Andy, though, you believe
then?
Andy, I think you're gonna. I think you would say Khabib or Ferguson beats Conor, though, right? If they either one that fights him, right?
I want to, but after his last couple of performances, after the Nate Diaz defeat, he's starting to win me over as a fighter. So I don't know. I think he would beat. I honestly think he beat Kukui. So you can take that one. You shove it up your ass. Khabib fight depends if anybody's going to get stabbed and shot and beaten up and murdered or something all over that.
Shit.
So,
yeah. Sure.
Real quick on the YouTube comments, Dave Mena says he says I have 4 kids in my class with boy buns. It's terrible. And then he says great analysis. One of them wins. Thanks, Andy. One of them wins.
Well, I could have said one of them loses. It's great.
That's true, but still, that's awesome. All right, Jesse, real quick, what do you think about the fight? Who wins?
Great fight. I think I'd rather see Khabib fight Conor. I don't think Ferguson would be able to do anything in that fight. I think he's as Dave's best buddy in the whole wide world, Lando, proved his chin is kind of suspect, and if you catch him, you know he's got that wild style that he likes. He'll eat some shots, and I think Conor would find that chin pretty easily. The more interesting fight would be Khabib with his wrestling and the way he dismantled Michael Johnson in his last fight. I mean, that just kind of gave me more of what I wanted to see from Khabib, you know, that dominant wrestling and everything. In the striking department, not so good. So, I mean, that's what would make that fight interesting. But I think Khabib takes that fight. And, you know, eventually, after injuries and all that stuff, he'd eventually fight Conor for a title.
In like 2 years.
Right.
Oh, shit. There you go. Here's what I think happens. I think Khabib beats the shit out of Ferguson. Ferguson's out for months on medical suspension, whatever. Khabib McGregor gets made for fucking Ireland or whatever the fuck you want to put it, Vegas. Okay? And then Khabib gets hurt, and then slides in Nate Diaz, like sliding into your DMs for a 155 title shot. Calling it now.
Nick.
That's what happens. No, Nate. I want to see Nate.
You,
the interesting thing
Mexican
is,
cocksucker.
You know what? Because Nick will fuck McGregor up. Nick will
interesting
destroy
thing
him.
with all
good
that
fight.
is that Conor will get the choice.
Of course he will.
They'll give him that. They'll say, who do you want, Nick or Khabib or stroke Ferguson? And that's he's just sat back in that position. That's why he's taking 10 months off. He's a clever. He's got some really clever business people behind him, and he's just sat there waiting. Which is going to give him the biggest money.
Yeah, Nate is the big money fight, and Nate did say that he's not coming back to actually fight anybody but Conor. So that should settle that argument there.
Yeah, supposedly the UFC 202 did $15 million. So can't handle that. All right. Moving on to the next thing. If I can pull this goddamn. Oh, that's why I can't find it. Stupid computer. Dave Mena says, I think it's awesome that Ferguson builds camps centered entirely around himself. That's a good point. Jeremiah says, I think Khabib mauls Conor, and I think Tony could drag him into deep water and submit him. So basically, Conor loses no matter what. And then he's saying that my scenario about Nate Diaz sliding in there with a Khabib injury and Ferguson being too fucked up from the Khabib fight to fight, that Nate gets in there for a title shot. If it's Nick Diaz, for some reason they do that fight. First of all, you'd be insane to put Nick Diaz in there with McGregor. Dana White would be in tears on the fucking side of the goddamn cage. Like, please don't hurt my baby. And then Nick Diaz will look at him like, remember when Cyborg and Cyborg was still married? And then, Cyborg, the guy just retired. Nick knocked the shit out of him, and he goes back to the other side and starts saying "fuck you, bitch" to Chris Cyborg. That's exactly what's gonna happen. It'll be the shit. But yeah,
Conor's still got a few more losses in him before they lose their cash cow.
Oh, for sure. It'll be at least three more. Of course, if he gets like 3 in a row, then he's super fucked. Like, that's kind of it. All right, moving on to the next topic here, real quick. What the hell does Goldie's Revenge mean, Dave?
Goldie's Revenge
sounds like something Trump would do.
That's exactly what I was going to say. But go ahead.
it has a lot to do with, I mean, I guess if you go to his Twitter handle, he's following, what is it, 1FC, Bellator. So it looks like he's the next step for Goldie is to transition to fucking Bellator and really, I see it as maybe they possibly stabbed him in the back. So if he does go that route, like I said, that's just where it is. Goldie's revenge. You know, Goldie's a class act. He's been a known figure in the UFC world. So if he slides into Bellator and starts calling fights there, you best believe that people are going to be interested, and that's going to bring eyes to Bellator. So ultimately, Goldie's revenge. So let's make that a hashtag and let's get that popping out there.
Do you really think that the UFC would allow him to do that? I mean, you don't think that they did a clause in his contract?
Hang on a sec, guys. I've got a pop around a sec.
Paying him off real quick, and non-compete in his contract, so he can't do that stuff, at least for the next year.
Maybe, because it's interesting too, just because they've silenced him. I mean, he hasn't really said anything. He hasn't gone on any shows, any podcasts. And the more interesting twist to it is a lot of people thought that him and Joe Rogan were, quote unquote buddies, good friends. Joe hasn't really said much about him, you know what I mean? And I think there's like the option of him going on the podcast, but I don't see that happening. I just think that Goldie will take that next step, and the MMA world still needs him around. We're not done with him yet, and he goes to Bellator. And I think that whole relationship with him and Rogan, it's basically just a work relationship. They're not really buddies like the people thought they were. And who knows though? I think he'll come out soon and speak more about the situation. But if there is something in the contract though, that would hold him back for a time period which we don't know. And it's just it's a strange situation because he's really silenced right now. So the UFC has basically told him not to say shit until further notice. It would seem.
Well, and the other thing is Goldie's always been a team player, right? So, I mean, to me, it would seem very, very professional of him to do his last show, not make it about himself, and then they make him sign an NDA and then a non-compete, and then silence him and keep him out of the sport for a while. I mean, but I just don't see what path it would be good for him. I mean, Bellator has their people. Pretty much everybody has like their person that calls the fights. Even Invicta has what's his name, TJ DeSantis or whatever.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, it would be weird to hear Goldie anywhere else and partner with anybody else. And look at what happened when he tried to dip his foot in football. I mean, that was
fucking fun right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude,
I tell you
so much
what's good
shit.
about that was his fucking Twitter rant afterwards.
He's so mad.
Fuck you, bitches. Bet you couldn't do it better.
Exactly. That shit was funny.
Suck it, Twitter faggots.
Yeah, now you know what though? I think he ends up doing boxing. That's what I think he ends up doing.
So this is the same Goldie that everybody used to moan about, get everything wrong. Everyone used to laugh when he used to make stupid mistakes and call him fights that were over that weren't over. Everybody would bitch and moan about him, and now they get. He gives a shit where he goes. Just fuck off. He's not with the UFC anymore. If he happened to pop up somewhere, then fine. If he doesn't, fuck it.
They bitched about him, now they're bitching about him getting fired. It makes no sense.
They do the same with everything. Fickle fuckers.
It's gonna be worse when Joe Rogan's gone. It's gonna be way worse when Joe Rogan leaves.
Okay, boys, listen. I gotta dip out, guys. I gotta go. But quickly, I've been waiting to the end of the show to ask. We always run fucking way over. Before I go, I gotta ask y'all's quick fucking opinions on this. Have y'all heard anything about Chris Brown and Soldier Boy fighting?
I still don't believe that's real.
Oh my
I still don't believe that's real. But if it's real, Chris Brown's gonna knock that shit out of this little motherfucker. English,
have you heard anything about this, or do you just
don't care? Fuck off.
That's what I figured.
Look, Chris Brown's got experience. He's got a record. He's probably 4-0 and beating his ass. And Soldier Boy's not more. The Soldier Boy's not a little bitch. He's gonna get knocked out.
Listen, all bullshit aside, you know what's funny about it? I was going to bring it up earlier and say, I bet you if WSOF had got this fight and actually made it happen, they could have saved their company with it.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, all maybe one day you'll shave your head.
Listen. What was the highest rated season of The Ultimate Fighter?
The Kimbo Slice one?
You just nailed it, the Kimbo Slice one. The highest rated fucking MMA show on cable TV, I think, was the Kimbo Slice fucking the one Kimbo Slice fight. He got famous off of beating people up in backyards, man. People love that kind of silly shit. I think that if they actually had these two fuckers fight, supposedly Mayweather Productions is supposed to do it and put it on pay-per-view. if they sell it for like 20 or 30 bucks, I think you might be surprised the actual number something like this would do with two celebrities actually fighting.
Of course I wouldn't. Just look who's fucking going to be in your White House in 8 days' time. I wouldn't be surprised if you fucking loving anything.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because Soulja Boy has 5 million followers on one of his social media. 5 million dummies that follow this guy.
Somebody did this with Twitter today about the bloody the followers for all the fights at the weekend. Since when does popularity on Twitter and the number of fucking porn bots and fucking morons you got following you on Twitter count to anything? Justin Bieber's got
listen, when you got 5 fucking
motherfuckers.
million of them, English.
You get
Oh,
paid.
shut up. It means piss all. It means piss all.
It
It just
does
means
matter.
you've got more morons.
You mean piss? All right, you cocksuckers. I gotta go. I'll let y'all next time.
Later, dude. Shake your head.
Later,
Bye,
friend.
fellas.
See you, spineless.
Save the head.
Hear what you owe. Hear what you owe.
I wonder, what do you guys think? Who has got better striking? I don't know if you guys seen the videos of Soulja Boy's training, fucking shit, whatever he's doing. But I think him and Rousey's striking are probably equal on par, right?
God,
there. Yeah,
Jesus.
That's
That good, eh?
Even Ronda Rousey would knock the shit out of Soulja Boy, man. Come on.
I think it's a ridiculous proposition to have two people that don't really know how to fight, probably have never been in a street fight, and one of them really, really likes to hit people that can't hit back hard enough to hurt them. I just think this is the most ridiculous and stupidest thing, and people are talking about it, which is, it's like, it's almost as bad as, what was it, Mayweather went on, one of the ESPN shows or whatever, and said that they'd offer Conor $15 million and pay-per-view cut or something like that.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
For boxing.
It was first take.
Yeah, there you go. See, so, like, I mean, I think, in all honesty, Mayweather is a smart and savvy business guy. He knows how to get his name, his promotion, and his stuff out there, and this is all his doing of trying to get, people's attention back on Mayweather, because Mayweather still needs that money revenue of getting his boxers out there, his promotion, all that stuff. So I mean, it's
that too. Yeah, it is that, Jesse. But another thing too, the way to look at it, it's going to lead to more just like random fucking celebrity matchups. People are going to be matching up Stitches versus whoever the fuck, you know what I mean, and these random rappers. So it's going to lead to some shit like that. So just to look at it in a different light, you know what I mean.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, we're probably going to get
real life celebrity deathmatch.
We're probably going to get like MTV
it may just happen
thing, where they do the celebrity deathmatch.
If they agree to a fight to the death, okay, I'm paying.
Everybody would watch it.
I will buy that pay-per-view.
I'm signing up to Mayweather Promotions instantly.
Yeah.
Straight up. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about real quick fight bookings, Dave.
Ooh, there's a massive list of fight bookings, fellas. We mentioned the Woodley Thompson 2. We know that's booked. On the London card, Andy, you better get your tickets for that card, man. That card's building up nicely, and your buddy Bisping might actually be on that card as well.
I'm pretty sure he'll be on it.
So I think the Mirsad Bektik, Darren Elkins fight, that also was booked. The Jacare Tim Boach fight, I know nobody is going to agree that that's a legit fight that you're looking forward to. So that's taking place at UFC 208. So
is that one of those things where probably Jacare's contract was going to expire? No, you think his contract was going to expire and they were like, oh, we need to get him a fight before a certain time, and they just that guy. The easiest matchup possible for you.
I don't think anyone wants to fight Jacare right now.
Yeah, that too. And then he thinks Luke Rockhold faked the fucking injury to fight him too, so that's why he's talking shit about Luke.
I don't doubt it. Isn't Rockhold already booked again, or no? Maybe he's not.
No, not yet.
Well, Rockhold, I seen a video today of Rockhold training kicks with Matt Mitrione down at American Top Team. So Rockhold is definitely
that's something to learn from, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, we still got Mitrione Fedor coming up.
Yep.
I want to see that
True.
shit.
It's in San Jose. Let's go.
Yeah, right. That's a flight for me. That's a drive for you. It's fuck.
Oh, it's still a long ass drive, like 6 hours, man.
Yeah, it's 11 for me at least. Anyway, at least too. Still got to go through fucking San Fran and all those other spots.
And then with Andy screwing us over at TSA, I don't think you're gonna be able to get on the flight.
Yeah. Oh god damn it, dude. The FBI is gonna be like, oh yeah, isn't your friend that one guy? Well, who? He's not even in this. He's not even on this continent, fucker. What the hell? Anyway, all right. And UFC Phoenix preview. Let's just talk about the main event. It's kind of like the biggest fight to talk about, honestly, on the whole card. And it's BJ Penn. What?
What about Sergio Pettis on a 3-fight winning streak?
Yeah, fighting my boy John Moraga, who hasn't fought in like 2 years.
But come on, that's still a pretty decent fight for a guy that could be a contender coming up.
I think Moraga beats him.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got Moraga.
Yeah, I think Moraga beats his ass. I think Pettis has ridden my brother's a former lightweight champion train long enough.
Oh, also some other fights worth noting too that are some legit matchups. We got the Shogun Gian Vellante fight. That's also a good matchup. Jimmy Manawa against Corey Anderson. That's on UFC London. Andy too.
I'm booing all the shitty ones. Go.
Also, Carla Esparza and Ronda Marcos is added to the UFC Halifax, and a real interesting matchup. I sent it to you, Eddie, earlier. Alex Caceres, Jason Knight. I think that's a fantastic.
I like that fight. That's like the white boy. I think he's the Diaz brother, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I like him. He talks a lot of shit, and it's funny when he does it during the fight.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the Phoenix preview quickly because I gotta fucking go. Moraga against Pettis. I'm taking Moraga, and so is Dave. Jesse, you saying you're taking Pettis?
Yeah, I'll take Pettis in that. I think he's been more active, so I think that'll help him in that fight.
Andy? Exactly.
Pettis is more of a rated than an overrated thing, I think. So I don't care. One of them's going to win.
Dave's gonna love that one. All right, Jesse, what's the other fight after them?
Let's see. There's also the Court McGee against Ben Saunders. If you guys got it.
That's on the main
Anybody
card.
with a known beard needs to be beaten.
Joe Lozon, Marcin Held is the co-main, right? And then the main. I think the other interesting fight, of course, is the Jocelyn Jones-Leibarger and Nina Ansroff fight. That's down at the bottom of those prelims.
I keep every time I hear her name, I think of Jocelyn Joyce Burnell, but you won't have a clue who she is.
Yeah,
she discovered pulsars, but anyway.
All right. Well, hey, look, maybe she got that kind of power. I don't know, but I think I mean that fight.
She's 68. I doubt it.
Okay, fuck it. Anyway, is that fight? You think that's the thing because of Nunes being Nina's girlfriend?
But it's way down at the bottom of the prelims. I think it's like the second fight on the prelims of Fox Sports 1.
Well, at least it's on TV. I mean, I'm assuming Amanda Nunes is going to corner her, so you can see the champ.
That's why it's there, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe. All right. What was the other fight? Lozon and Marcin Held. I like Lozon in that one. I like Killer B against Court
McGee.
Okay, you fucking Amish beard fucker. I like Killer B in that one. And then Coleman, I'm taking Lozon over Marcin Held. I like Marcin Held a lot, but I think Lozon's going to take him, especially with that newfound power he's got. And then main event. What's up?
No, there's a fight too that's pretty interesting. It's both guys making their debut, but it's Devin Powell and Drakkar Klaus. Pay attention to that fight.
Is one of them from Jackson's MMA? Be honest.
Of course it is.
No, one of them from MMA Lab in Phoenix, and the other guy is a guy from the East Coast though. But it's a 6-0 guy against an 8-1. Both guys are studs, and that's a fucking fantastic fight. It's going to deliver. And also the Tony Martin Alex White fight is an interesting bout as well.
That fight's underrated as fuck. I think it could shape it to be a really good fight. I don't know if it'd be like a fight of the night, but it'd be a good fight.
I think Eddie, you got to throw out our UFC pick'em for everybody out there to join up, and because I made all my picks on the card anyway. So, I think there's some interesting fights here that I think a true fight fan will be entertained. But if you're just in it for the gluttonous effect of punishment, just watch the main event, and that's gonna be an interesting fight.
For the record, is anybody picking BJ to win this fight?
I want to. I really want to.
Exactly.
I mean, the only thing that I would pick BJ is if I heard some really, really good things coming out of Jackson's camp.
Or if I heard some awful shit coming out of your ears.
I haven't heard anything like astounding coming out of the camp. And Dave, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but there hasn't been too much talk about how great he's doing and anything. It's just he's here, he's taking pictures with everybody, he's training. Nothing saying like he's changing everything up, he's lighting the world on fire, he's putting everybody to sleep with his power. He's not doing any of that stuff. So to me, it's more of the same thing that we've gotten all the time, and he's probably going to walk in there and probably not going to listen to Jackson Winklejohn on anything, and we're probably going to get to see him on his tippy toes get knocked out again.
Yeah, not only adding to that, Jesse, though, not only has he been training at Jackson Wink, I mean, he's been at the MMA Lab, he's been to Jason Perillo at Ruka. Shit, he was at Nova Uniao in like his initial return like 3 years ago when he was trying to come back then. So he's been everywhere. And I think he's also been, where else? He's been around, though. For this particular fight, he's been around. Yair Rodriguez hasn't done any training at Jackson Wink. And I think the interview, I forgot who asked him the question, where they asked him if he's worried about the people at Jackson's, like Dodson and the people that he sparred with that know his weaknesses and his strengths. But Yair Rodriguez, total stud. He said, I do not give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm going in there to take out a legend, and I'm on a quest to get that title. So there's no way in hell BJ Penn wins this fight. I've seen the training. I know what's going on. And like I said, he's been around, not just Jackson Wink. So, and there hasn't been, like Jesse said, not many people saying, oh, yeah, BJ's looking sharp. He's looking this and that. He's been put through the grinder at Jackson Wink. That's all I know. And that's what they do, and the training partners that you have there. But I just think Yair Rodriguez's time is now. He gets a legend, a win in his belt, and he's on his way to do big things in 2017.
Yep, off in Bellator.
God, Jesus.
Yeah. No, I think Ryzen if anywhere else. Anyway, as far as BJ anyway. Yeah, I got Yair Rodriguez. I mean, this is I wouldn't mind seeing an upset, right? BJ Penn showed us some crazy shit, like turned the clock back for a little bit, but I just don't see it happening at all.
Anybody got the betting line on that? Dave, you got the betting line on that?
Yeah, Yair Rodriguez is a heavy favorite, minus 500. Penn is plus 385.
Damn. There's not. You know what? I expected it to be bigger odds, way bigger.
Yeah, I did too. But if you got $100 you never want to see again, Eddie, right? Might as well take a little shot.
I'm cool, man. I'm not in Nevada. We can't fucking bet sports in Arizona. I don't think.
This is another string to the bow of the resurgence of the kicking clan, because you've got the karate boys spinning around with Wonderboy and stuff. And now you've got Yair with his taekwondo background. It's just forget the jiu-jitsu eras. Everybody's going to start doing super kicks and stuff like that.
Switch kicks and shit like.
Because I used to do taekwondo.
Yeah. There you go. He's happy.
Bet than karate, Fred.
Fucking Fred. I took karate once. Give me CM Punk. Like, what the fuck? Anyway. All right.
I'm thinking this is something that to look out for, though, post-fight, whatever takes place. I think if Yair Rodriguez wins this fight, it'll be interesting to see if he still keeps the association with Jackson Wink and tries to do his camp here. Because I think he might be one of those guys, kind of like Kukui, where he gears his training camps just to him. I mean, he trains down in Chihuahua. He's got a great group of guys down there that he trains with. He trains with Mike Valle up in Illinois. Of course, Israel Martinez. But then again, he's distanced himself from Jackson Wink in this particular camp. So I find that very interesting pre and post fight. And ultimately, I see him destroying BJ Penn. So Yair Rodriguez is on commercials here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with the news at the Jackson Wink camp. So that's something to look out for post facto after he takes care of business in Phoenix.
They have commercials?
This motherfucker. When BJ Penn gets knocked the fuck out, dude, he's either finally gonna retire permanently, or he's gonna be like, I lost because of my camp. I'm gonna go to ATT now, or I'm gonna go over here. Yeah, he's gonna go back to Greg Jackson. This is no way. There's no reason not to. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go?
Our awesome special interview on Friday, if you want to tease that.
Fuck, what is it?
Dave?
Yeah, it's not that awesome and special. What?
I have so much shit going on right now. I completely forgot.
Dave and I have been working together to try and become the guys that cover Combate, being as how we're Latino, and they're trying to grant us a bit of access. So nice. Friday we're gonna have Andrea Calle to interview. Oh man.
God damn. Is she gonna be on camera?
Yes.
Request, get her to show that. I'm kidding. I'm not afraid, Kirby. I'm playing with you.
Don't stop.
I'm playing. Cool. All right, go ahead.
And now we got it.
Cool, is it?
We're about to get a message saying interview canceled. Thanks, Eddie.
I know, right? They're gonna be mad at us. Me, whatever. All right. So, and then who else?
That's it for now. We Dave and I are working on getting more people. We've got a couple more fighters that are coming up. So, anything else you want to add to that, Dave?
Yeah, no, looking forward to it, Jesse. And yeah, we definitely want to get more involved with promoting Combates. We know they have an event coming up. We've got some title fights taking place, and we'll talk more about it on the show. And Andrea will definitely let us know her role in promoting the Combates and Campbell McLaren. And it's something where we got to get more involved. And like Jesse said, as Latinos, I think that's something where we can definitely make it happen and make some strides in that. And very much looking forward to it.
We could become the Ariel Helwanis of that.
And Eddie will be live. Eddie, you got to get us some live content there in the building at Talking Stick, and let us know what the atmosphere is, what it's like, because it's gonna be a great turnout. I think a lot of tickets have sold for it, right? Correct?
Yeah, a lot. Obviously, it's not going to be a sold out event. There's just no way. It's not the card for a sold out event. But the tickets are
10,000 or so.
Yeah, the
10,000 plus.
Tickets are relatively cheap. So if you're around, just go, dude. Fuck it.
I'll just hop over.
Well, if you're around here, but you're welcome to come over. I'm cool with it. Like,
can't get in even if I wanted to.
And then
I was gonna say the TSA will have something to say about that though. What were you saying, Dave?
And then Eddie, you're gonna be at the weigh-ins too as well, right?
I'm gonna try. It depends. I actually have a seminar. Fuck it, I'll throw this out here. Seminar at J Page's Jiu-Jitsu with Richie Martinez, 10th Planet Black Belt. It's fucking legit as fuck. But it starts at 1 p.m. here, like Arizona time. And I'm pretty sure the weigh-ins are going to be around like 4 or 5. So if I can get that's like a 2-hour seminar, but get out of there and, get a few things I need to get done before for the weigh-ins, I'll try to fight my way to fucking downtown Phoenix for that shit. But who knows? We'll see.
Nice.
All right.
Looking forward to hearing, follow Eddie Law. Looking forward to hearing what turns out. And it's Sunday. It's an odd Sunday night card. We know we got football taking place, but I'm looking forward to that event. And it's an event for the hardcore.
It's not football. So. You don't play football. Shut up.
Wait.
Well, it's leading into it though, Andy. You got the football game leading into the UFC, so that's great.
Yeah, but it's not football.
No, it's not. It's not football.
It's American football, lemon shaped shit. It's not soccer.
Yeah. How often do they use their feet in that? Why do you call it? It's one of the biggest misnomers on the planet.
Wait. Did you use their feet to kick off the ball?
For 3 occasions. Literally 3 different occasions. Field goals, punts, and kickoffs.
Rubbish.
Exactly. Anyway. All right. Well, it's going to do it for us then. You can follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. Yeah. Jesse's at Spawat1983. Dave is at Dave's MMA Brief. Andy couldn't give us a fuck. And, of course, you can follow me at Elaw31. And the page is over at CrossBonesMMA and the MMA Advocates. So, I remember Friday, interview show, and then keep an eye out Saturday, Sunday for some content. Hopefully I'll be able to get in there and shoot some video and pictures out. So, it's going to do it for us, and we'll catch you guys next time.
8 days, Assassins, 8 days.
8 days. God damn it.